I'm inside because it is very cold outside. The snow didn't last very long, and I didn't expect it would, and I certainly didn't expect it would stick. But it is a sign that things are coming. So rather than try and endure to do anything outside, I thought I'd get started on an indoor project that I've been putting off for a while. But not because I don't want to do it. I'm very excited about this project just because I had to get all the outside stuff done. As you can see from the window behind me, there's no privacy there. In fact, I get stared at regularly by these two monsters who are very disappointed that I took the cat door out of that window, but it was letting in too much cold air, so it had to go for the winter. So now they come to the window and I go let them in the door, and it's all fine. But one thing I have noticed with not having any curtains or anything on this window is that I'm startling myself in the night. That I'll be sitting here on the couch working on a project, and the reflection of my hands or whatever I'm moving in the window startles me to think that there's somebody or something out there. So I'm not a curtain person though. I don't generally like curtains, although I don't know if you can see it from here. I did put curtains up in the dining room, but it kind of suited the theme that I was going for in there. So I'm okay with them in there. But out here, it just doesn't suit. So I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do to give myself some privacy, but still let in a lot of light, still be able to see out when I needed to, to see if there's a delivery person here or something like that. Some strange person pulling into my driveway. And it suddenly hit me a couple of weeks ago, what if I do fake leaded glass? I love stained glass windows. And when I was a kid, we always lived in older homes, generally late Victorian era homes that had at least a little bit of stained glass somewhere in the house, usually just along the top of a window. Nothing fancy, nothing elaborate, although I would love an elaborate stained glass window. But so it got me thinking, what if I did something like that here? So that night, I was bored watching TV. I didn't want to knit, so I just pulled out a Sharpie and started drawing lines on the window, and you can see some of them there. The ones I did initially were not very carefully measured, carefully laid out, but I really liked the design. So I ordered what's called faux leading, and I've got 2 boxes of these, and basically it's just like a rubber material that you peel it off and stick it down, and that makes the lines with the leading in your leaded glass windows. So what the plan is, and it's a hard design to explain, but basically along the bottom, I'm going to have a row of diamonds and triangles. And the triangles along the window sash, I'm going to color those in. And I've got 4 different colors, so I'll have 4 different triangles. And then it'll be what I'm calling lozenges. So they're long rectangles with triangle points at either end. So there will be 4 of those across the window. And then another row of triangles along the top. But the points of those triangles are going to be the base of a second set of lozenges, which are going to go up on the second window, and then at the top of that window, I'll have another set of triangles, and I'll color those in as well. Now I've done the initial lines, that's what you can see on the window. I've done the initial lines for where all these are going to lay out. So I thought I would get started on putting some of that leading up and see how much I can get done tonight. So let's get to it. Right, well, that wasn't hard at all. The trickiest bit was doing the bevel cuts to make all the corners come together. So, and that took me about an hour and a half to do. Now, granted, I had some of the measurements already done on the bottom window, but it didn't take very long to transfer those up to the top window as well. So now, I'm not going to do this tonight because I can't see very well, but I have this liquid lead line, and you could use this to do what I just did with the adhesive lead lining, if you trust your drawing hand, which I don't. I have a very shaky hand and I wanted nice straight lines, so the lead lining worked well for me. But I'm going to take this and fill in any gaps. So I'll want to have light behind it so I can see where there are spaces. So I'll do this tomorrow. I want to take a look at it. I may do it along the edges of each of those lines just to soften it up a bit, because obviously these are machine cut, so it's very right angles. So lining it with this might give it a little more softness. And if I decide after a while that I don't like this, which at the moment I don't foresee happening, I can just take a razor blade and scrape it all off, clean the window really good, and be back to bare windows. So I think this is going to be a really good first attempt. Now I got the colored paint to do the joints, or the triangles. So you can see now what I meant along the bottom there. Those triangles I'm going to do in color. And I'd gotten a bunch of colors to do that in. This is glass paint that I just got at Michael's. And they have dozens of different colors. Ooh, where'd my other one go? And of course I picked out a bunch, and I don't think they're the right colors. I think I'm going to keep the yellow and purple, but I think I'm going to try and get a darker blue and a green instead. So the only warm color will be this yellow, but I think I'm okay with that. And again, I can paint them on, and if I don't like them, I can just scrape them off, clean the window, and repaint them something else. I wish they had had a darker red, like a blood red. And if I find one when I'm there next time, then I may get that instead of the green maybe. Just because I like that rubyish color, and it goes with, well, you can't see it too well, the color of the sofa, the wallpaper on this wall, the rug. So this is basically a reddish room. So having a stronger red color in the window I think would work better. But we'll play it by ear. We'll see what I can find at the store. I'm not gonna do the color right away anyway, because I've got to do that lead lining and then wait for that to dry. So it'll be a couple of days before I put the color in. But I'm really pleased with the look. It's doing exactly what I had hoped it would. Now on the outside lozenges, oh, and that's what I didn't get. I need to get a clear, so it'll give it kind of a watery look and keep it from reflecting. You can see how much it reflects anything going on in the room. So if I just take those edges off here and here, so that it's not reflecting as much, I think that's going to improve my comfort level a little bit. And again, if I don't like it, I can just scrape it off. But I really love the way the lining looks, so even if I don't do any of the color, I think I'm definitely going to keep that lining. And I'm also going to do it on this window here, and I've got another window on the other side of the fireplace. So I'm definitely going to do all three of these windows, and I may go crazy and end up doing it on a bunch more of the windows because I just really like the look of it. So I need to go make dinner, so I'm going to sign off for tonight. You're going to see more and more that it's going to be these small projects and maybe a little shorter videos. The thing I do in the off season is it's my downtime, so it's time for me to learn new things. I had hoped to take a Master Gardener's course this fall with the local cooperative extension, but when it came time for them to do their interviews and such, they had to cancel the course for this year because they were going through some instructor transition. So they aren't offering that class this year, so I'm not able to take it. But I am taking a ceramics class I've been taking for about a year now. And I'm especially excited this week. I get to start a 4-week class on Thursdays learning surface treatment techniques in ceramics. So that, I'm very excited to start that. And on Saturday and Sunday, I'm taking a ham radio class to learn how to do amateur radio, especially after Hurricane Helene went through and so many people were stranded without any way to communicate. I felt like that might be a good skill to have to be able to help my local community in case something like that should happen here. You want to say things like that will never happen, but I know a number of years ago of one of the surprise hurricanes that came through the Northeast did huge amounts of damage in the Catskills just an hour or two east of me here. Just absolutely dividing farmland and leaving people stranded in all kinds of crazy ways. My mom loves to tell me the story of a friend of hers who lived in the area who had a donkey in her barn, and the floodwaters were dividing the house from the barn. So she went and got her donkey and brought it into the house, and it lived in the kitchen until the floodwaters receded. So you never know what's going to happen. So I've been working on my emergency kits, my bug out bags if I need that. And I think having a ham radio license, as well as giving me opportunities to talk to people all over the world, basically, just being able to help with local emergency response in a situation like that. Or we're seeing a lot of wildfires not too far from here this year, so they're not just a West Coast issue anymore. So again, having some kind of skill like that I think could be really useful. I have to pass the test, and there's a lot of frequencies and wavelengths and diodes and resistors and schematics, and right now my brain is just a fog. So I'm going to go have dinner and I'm going to sit down with my book and study. So I will get back to you and let you know how that goes this weekend. I'm sure I won't be able to record during it, but I'll let you know afterwards. So thank you for coming along for this. I hope this was interesting. If you have any questions about it or any suggestions, put them in the comments below. And otherwise, I hope you'll come back tomorrow and see what we get up to next. Have a good night, everybody. It's another chilly day, so I'm staying inside. But I figured that's a good opportunity to start doing the lead lining on the strips that I put up yesterday. Now, the one thing that I noticed last night as I was sitting here watching TV is that a lot of these lines started peeling off the window. And I don't know if it's because the glass was too cold, so the glue wasn't adhering properly. So I've been rubbing them back into place with some friction to try and warm that glue up. But I'm hoping adding the liquid lead line is going to help kind of adhere them to each other so that it's harder for the ends to come up. So let's see how well that works. You need to move. So now we'll give that a couple of hours to dry and cross our fingers that that solves the peeling problem. The only place I had an issue was this one right here because it's behind the lock and my tool doesn't get down in far enough to glue or to put the faux lead in at the bottom of that one. So we'll just cross our fingers that that just sticks. So now I'm going to let that dry and cure, and we'll see how that looks. And then tonight after work, I'll try and run into town to get the colors to put in here, and we'll see how that ends up looking.